Yo, what's going on, everybody? It's your boy Ethan, bringing you some more college basketball 22. We are back with the Journeyman save with the Arkansas Razorback. And if you didn't watch the last episode, episode 20, I would really highly recommend that you go watch it. Spoilers alert, spoilers alert. We won the national championship. Finally, the 20th year of Journeyman's career. Such a long journey through all these struggles here from South Carolina State. Little trip at George Mason before we came back to the home state of South Carolina. Tried to take a better job in Arizona. Got fired the first year. Had a bounce back job at Clemson to build my career to be able to become the head coach of Arkansas. And we finally ran the gauntlet. We finally have gotten the little, devil off our shoulders, and we have finally won a national title. We are a national title winning coach. 485 wins, 200 losses. Definitely Hall of Fame worthy, but that national title secures it. But now, guys, no more. We've enjoyed the national championship, and now it's time to turn the page in the book and move on to the next chapter and see if we can repeat. It's going to be really, really hard. If you didn't watch the last episode, Seton Hall has an absolutely absurd recruiting class that I have ever seen the AI put together. 5-star players and a 4-star and just some random 2-star. Seton Hall, it's not like they've been doing good, throughout my sim save, but whoo-wee. 5-stars, that's hard. I mean, we are right here next to them with a really good recruiting class. I just don't know if we can compete with that. Oh, excuse me, boys. But anyways, we're at the staff hiring, boys. Let's go ahead and move on. Dave Patrick here. He was our recruiting first assistant. He has accepted the head coaching position at UMass. You know what? I can't even be mad at him, man. We'll clap our hands for him, boys. Congratulations. If we're going to lose an assistant, I want them to get head coaching jobs. So congrats to Dave Patrick on his job at UMass. I'm sure he wants to build up his career and try and do the same thing. So basically, boys, we got to look for a really, really elite top recruiter again, so that way we can start pulling in this top talent, and we'll be all good. We're still here as a Razorback. I've had a couple things in the future that can kind of change the role play, kind of change the trajectory of this sim. But for right now, we just won the national championship with Arkansas. It feels so good. We have a great recruiting class. It's gonna take something super special to pull us away. It's gonna have to take some sort of role play change from me. But right now, we're focused on being a hog. So, anyways, boys, I'm glad I'm back. Glad you guys are still watching the series, 20 episodes in. Shout out to you guys who liked the video within the first 10 views. You're the real MVP of the viewerships. The guys who hit the like button within the first 10 views, you're an effing legend, bro. Effing legend, and you know who you are. Keep it up, brother. Hey, and I have a request for you. For the guy who always likes my videos within the first 10 views, can you go back and like one of the George Mason videos? One of the George Mason videos is the only videos that doesn't have a like on it. I'd really appreciate if you go back on that video and hit a like, man, just so I can have a like on every one of my videos. But you know who you are, man. You hit the like button every time. You're the real MVP. I really appreciate you. And I'd really appreciate if you just go back to one of the George Mason episodes. It's only 2 episodes. And just hit the like button on the one that doesn't have a like. Just because I can have a like on all my videos, right? So that's just me being selfish. Anyways, boys, I'm going to go ahead and get to this staff hiring. I'm going to show you guys who I hire. I'm just going to sort and filter it by the highest recruiter and try and get him in for like $120,000 a year. And we'll go on, boys. Let's see if we can repeat. And should be an exciting season coming up. We're definitely not the favorites. Seton Hall is definitely the favorite, but you never know. That's why they play the game, right? One wrong time injury and anything can go wrong. So I'll see you guys, and I'll let you guys know when we update our staff, who we get, how good he is recruiting. We're going to have to get somebody who's at least 5 stars. So I'll see you guys then. Alright, boys, it was pretty simple enough. We went after George Brooks here. His history. He's just been he hasn't been an assistant. Looked like he got the head coaching job, and they were like, yeah, no, you're not really a good head coach. Been at San Diego State for a decade. Guess he's kind of given up on his head coaching jobs, but he's a hell of a recruiter. 96 in recruiting, fully all the way up there. We're just going to let him be a recruiter. We have a great scouter and player developer. Could get better, but, you know, I like the money that we're spending here. We've only put $115,000 into him, and we still have a monstrous recruiting budget to be able to work off of. So it's going to be really, really good. Have really good facilities. Honestly, Arkansas is set up for such success. It would be crazy to leave, but I'm thinking of role play scenarios kind of in my head, guys, to keep the series a little interesting. But right now, I mean, I'm tied to Arkansas. I mean, I won I won my first national championship here, man. It's such a special moment, you know, for Journeyman. But all right, guys. I mean, that's it for staff hiring. Unless one of my second or third assistants leave, we're just going to keep them. We're going to roll with it. We got another first assistant who's going to be an elite recruiter with us, pulling the best talent that we possibly can. We have him for 5 years. Maybe we help him get a head coaching job. Who knows? But that's going to be it for the staff hiring, boys. I will see y'all when we get to the board of petition and see if we can see what we can petition. See if we can get to A+ facilities, because we have plenty of money. Now we just want max facilities, and then maybe we can get more money in the future. Alrighty, boys, we are done with the staff hiring. Nobody left, so that's good. We're going to meet with the board. We're going to try and just keep our facilities up to date, keep them top of the line, and then, guys, we're going to move into the next season. I guess I'll give you guys a quick recap of the guys who are declaring for the draft. It's a lot of our top dudes, right? It's going to be our main dude, Murray Gilmore, who left us. Yeah, I mean, they just gave us new facilities a little bit ago, right? So it's not realistic to get back-to-back facility upgrades. Maybe next year I'll spend more of the budget, and maybe we can get up to like 500,000, and we can just like have every premium report that we want. Because you can get this up to like 500,000. So not that the extra money helps us. It actually does. I mean, we could hire better assistants and just overall build a better program. But anyways, guys, you see here, we're at the end of the season. Obviously, we won the national championship this year. Next year, the board is expecting the same. They're like, we're at the level of winning national championships. We gotta maintain this level. So, all right, boys, I will see y'all at the start of the regular season. I'm gonna give you a quick little preview of the players who are declaring for the draft. Jared McKinley, who was a really, really good forward for us. He's a second-year player, actually. He didn't play a lot, actually. He played, but he was coming off the bench just because we had Murray Gilmore, right, who was our stud power forward, averaging 16 and 11. Obviously, this guy's going to the NBA, right? All-American. I mean, look at the awards in just 1 year. Player of the year, freshman of the year, All-American first team. Yeah, that guy's going to the NBA right away. BJ Bailey is another one of those first-year players. He didn't get any awards, but he played pretty well. 9 points, basically 4.5 assists, 2 rebounds. Really, really good defensively with 1.5 steals. And Damon Johnson as well. So it was a guard that we had playing the wing. He was averaging 10, 2, and 4. I mean, he's a really defensive menace with a block and a steal. I mean, really, really good player. I would love to have him back and have him play, but he's ready for the NBA. So we're losing 3 starters and a really nice role player. We are bringing in some good talent with our recruiting class coming in. Best player probably being Ryan Warren here. Ryan Warren, top 10 player, committed to Arkansas. Hopefully he can fill the void. Now, the best thing about all of this is we have James York, who is our second-year player. He looks like he's going to be here all 4 years, but he was Defensive Player of the Year, first team 2 years in a row in the SEC, and he didn't declare for the draft. He's averaging, 16 points a game, 4 assists. We're getting a 16 points per game returner, 2.5 steals, and a block. This guy is so crucial to our team defensively and scoring points. So we have the team built around our shooting guard. We'll just have to go from there. We're losing our next 4 best players, unfortunately. Hopefully we can keep Ed Butler and Andy Kennedy, Josh Fox, as well as Thane, who was a good transfer. Made the second team. So, we have a lot of good pieces. We're bringing in a lot of good pieces. I don't think we're going to be as good next year as we were this year, but you have to roll with the team that you get and give it a shot. So let's do enough talking, boys. Let's get to the next season. We'll buy our reports, get into the transfer portal, and then see what kind of team we can field after recruiting. All right, boys, here we are. We're at the start of the season. Let's go through these emails real quick. Let's see how many scholarships we have. Not going to do anything with the scheduling. 5 scholarships. It makes sense. 255,000. I mean, crazy. Second recruiting class. Another top 5 recruiting class. Really, really good. And Wagner joins the Ivy League. Nothing too crazy. Let's go ahead and buy our reports. Same thing. Premium national. And we're going to make sure we cover our region with the premium. 110,000. Beautiful amount of money for the transfer portal, summer camps, and rest of recruiting. So, going to go ahead and advance through this, boys. I will see y'all at the transfer portal. We'll see who transfers. And, we have 4 people who declare for the draft. We're going to have 4 scholarships to bring in 4 seniors. It's going to be pretty crazy. We're going to try and bring in as much depth and play as we can to really fill out our needs. So, I'll see you guys when we get there. All right, boys, welcome back. We are at the transfer portal. As you can see, the team is looking a little thin, but, that's before we filled it out with the transfer. So you guys saw a little preview of the freshmen. We'll take a look at them more. Let's see who is transferring. Ed Butler. So we do lose one of our best power forwards. He's unhappy with me because he wanted to play, and we were only giving him 3 minutes a night. I mean, we were just too stacked, and we were going to lose this guy. 5-star potential, 3-star. He's going to transfer to a good school, maybe like ACC, SEC. He's definitely Power 5 worthy. He just needs to play and develop. Just wasn't quite good enough. I mean, top 30 prospect. I understand. He wants to go and get some playing time. He doesn't think he can get here. I understand. All right, boys, let's take a look at the roster really quick and see what we're working with here. Ryan Warren coming in 4.5 stars out of 5. He's a bucket getter as well. Look at that, 82 passing. Not the best ball handling. Notice the ball handling stat never really gets up there, but good enough, right? Kind of lacks defense. So this is like a really raw freshman, right? Like, obviously a freshman who can score, has a really nice outside shot, good free throws. Can work on his defense. He's good at steals, but overall this guy's going to be kind of a bucket scoring point guard for us. Scores bucket, has a really good pass. Really, that's all we need. You guys know who James York is. We don't have to worry about that. James York, we love our combos at point guard, shooting guard, so that's pretty much figured out. Simon Seitz right here, he's a 4-star out of 5-star. He's a defender, but only with 46 defensive ability. I guess it's because his stealing is at 88. That's a really, really good stealing. Pretty good passing and handling. I mean, this guy is a solid player. This guy would be, like, starting on most teams. But, unfortunately, when you come to Arkansas, we have a lot of talent stack. But this guy's probably going to be the main guard off the bench, along with Jeff Daniels. Look at Jeff Daniels, man. 4.5 stars out of 5 on initial one. 92 outside shot. 82 scoring. Great passing. Great free throws. Great rebound. Much better defense. Oh, my goodness. Jeff Daniels right here is a steal. This guy is a stud. If we didn't have James York on our team, this guy would be starting right away. I mean, one of these guys, maybe Jeff Daniels, how tall are you? 6'1"? He's not really a small forward, right? We can't really play him as small forward. This guy's a walk-on. I'm just gonna release the walk-on. It doesn't hurt your prestige or anything. I just want to see like which actual scholarship cards I have. So James York, Jeff Daniels for sure. This guy was the guy I offered the scholarship to that I wish I didn't, because he's just like taking up a scholarship piece and just basically accumulating rings off my success. So Janie Barber, 3.5 stars out of 5-star freshman small forward. He wants solid minutes. I mean, he can start. He has a decent scoring in 71. I mean, this guy would be pretty much good for any other mid-major kind of like even a high-major team that's not like championship worthy, but on a championship roster, he's probably not good enough. So we're going to look at small forward definitely in the transfer portal. I think our guard position is honestly so beautiful that like we don't need to focus on guards at all. Small forward for sure. Obviously, we don't have a power forward, so it's going to be nice to get maybe like 2 power forwards. Andy Kennedy though is a really he was like he's coming in on his 3rd year now. It's a really good center, so we could play double center because we're returning Josh Fox as well, who's done a lot for us. He obviously isn't doing as well as he did at Pitt, but that's because he's surrounded by so much more talent. So he's on a championship roster. So if I really had to describe, I like Josh Fox. I like our James York and Ryan Warren, and our backup. Man, our backup guards are insane. So if needed, we could go small ball at the 3 spot at the forward position, right? We could play Jeff Daniels. I mean, look how developed Jeff Daniels is. I mean, even though he's 6'1", I mean, he's a stud. Just like, he's just so developed and good. I mean, he could be we could go triple guard and a double center. But anyways, boys, I'm going to go and use all the resources that I've been telling you guys. Use this magazine, use the points per game, use all your resources you can to find good players. I'm going to try and find a nice starting small forward. See if there's any good power forwards out there. Not really going to touch the guard position or the center position. It's really going to be small forwards and power forwards. So anyways, boys, I'm going to go ahead and get working on these transfers. We have 5 of them. A lot of them are going to be seniors, so I get the scholarship back. But yeah, anyways, boys, I will see y'all once I identify some targets and kind of go after some kids, and we'll go from there. All right, boys? All right, boys. I'm going to take a little bit of a gamble here on James Reed or Red. I'm not sure how you pronounce it, from California. He played for Northern Iowa, and as a freshman, player of the year, defensive player of the year, freshman of the year, conference first team. Obviously, it's for a mid-major, but he was a 25th ranked prospect. He went to Northern Iowa, and he balled out. I mean, you got to evaluate on the stats. Almost 15 points per game and 7 rebounds, a steal and a block. I mean, insane. This guy is a great player. He's a sophomore, I believe, James Red. Yeah, he's a sophomore. He's somebody I'm willing to take a flyer on since we're in his top 3. He's also interested in North Carolina and Texas. So I know that this guy is a high-profile guy. So I'm going to offer him a scholarship as a sophomore and just kind of take the gamble on him having awards, right? Him being the player of the year. I mean, you can only be so bad, right? And he's not even bad. He's good, but I'm taking the chance that I see these awards. He's a great player. He's going to be able to translate to our level. Maybe he's not going to be a first teamer in our conference, right? But he's going to be a solid piece. So I'm going to offer this guy. I think he should come in at 4 stars, maybe 3 stars. Who knows? Those lower level ratings can be quite deceiving. But 15 player of the game, 7 player of the weeks. You gotta trust your instinct, and that's what my instinct says. So. That's the only target I've really identified right now. We'll keep going, and we'll see what happens. All right, boys, welcome back. I went through a first week. I didn't show you guys all who I offered because I didn't think I was going to get them, but we did get John Howe, who was that really good power forward or small forward or something like that. He was a really good forward, but he's accepted our scholarship. He was the one who was player of the year, defensive player of the year, freshman of the year, like everything good going for him. And then we got this guy, Ricky. I think he might have been a guy who was just really interested in coming to the squad, and I think we're just trying to fill some positions. So if we take a look at kind of like who we picked up in that, here's Ricky Tricco, 4-star out of 5-star for now. He's looking a lot better than the prospect that we got before. He's only getting 22 minutes for 9. He doesn't average the most points, but has a really good outside shot scoring, decent rebounding, blocking, and stealing. I mean, if he could just be like a block, like a 3-and-D kind of guy, like what they call in the NBA, just like hit your outside shot. Like, yeah, we can rely on you for scoring, but you're going to be surrounded by such talent. Like, he doesn't need to do that. Wait, Rick. Oh, no, wait. Yeah, he's a small forward. But, okay, we also pot in another small forward as well. So we didn't bring in any power forwards, which now I need to look at. And these guys also are going to take a scholarship for a while. But we also brought in John Howe, who was the guy who we really wanted. Good guy, expects starter minutes. He's probably going to be the starter. This guy was... wait, was it John Howe? Was it the guy that we really wanted? No. Okay, so we just actually kind of like filled our small forward depth really well. John Howe is just like another really good player that I saw, ranked in the 16th, transfer from Baylor. He really didn't get any minutes, so he must have been sitting behind a really good small forward. But it's basically going to be a competition between our transfers. I don't think my freshman is going to play that much, which might cause him to transfer. But when we have two 4-star players, you know, Ricky, he expects starter minutes. We'll see. John, it's going to be a battle between those two, and we might lose one of them to the next year's transfer portal, but that's okay. But now we have 3 quality guards or forwards. Center, I think we're fine at. Again, we could also think about playing Jeff Daniels at the small forward position because we're so stacked at guard. But really, we're looking like a team where we're super stacked at guard, and then everyone else is about a 4-star kind of worthy player, which is pretty good to be in this position. But we don't really have a lot of studs, so we'll have to keep working on that. I'm going to keep getting in the transfer portal here. I'm going to get some seniors. I'm going to get some and bring in a couple power forwards, and I'll show you guys who we bring in, kind of wrap up this team, and then I'll get through high school recruiting, and then go from there, boys. So I do remember who we were trying to go after. We were trying to go after this James Red guy, but unfortunately he commits to the Tar Heels, which is crazy because UNC right now is a really, really good team. Man, this guy was so good. He was a good guy too. It's not like he was a disruptive behavior, but I mean, this guy was 15-7. I mean, he's gonna go play for North Carolina now. This guy's gonna be a huge impact for them. He would have been a huge impact for us. Would have been our starting power forward immediately. Unfortunately, we lose him to North Carolina. Nothing you can do about that. You just move on, try and fill the next position. Unfortunate though, because I mean, this guy would have really put us into super deep national championship contention. We're still there, but I know what it takes. We need some elite players to carry us when somebody isn't, you know, having a good game, and some guy like this would be able to. But hey, can't cry over spilled milk. Can't cry over spilled milk. So let's just keep going. All right, boys, welcome back. I added basically a couple senior power forwards here. There wasn't basically anybody I found worthy of any like big offers, so we just brought in a small forward or 2 senior power forwards who will get the scholarship back right away, and they're decent enough players. But we're probably looking at either playing John Howe or Ricky at the 4 position and just kind of going double small forward, double guard, point guard, shooting guard, double small forward, and a center, or we can go double center. We'll see. I still have 1 scholarship left. I'm just going to give it to some random senior so I get the scholarship for a high schooler. But anyways, guys, I mean, that's going to basically be it. I mean, we've basically filled out the team. It's going to be Ryan Warren, James York, and man, Jeff Daniels. It just feels so criminal to not have this guy play. He's 6'1", but he might just have to play. And we have small forwards. We have options. Unfortunately, James York is he is really good defensively. I mean, he is our best player, but he isn't like Murray Gilmore, right? He's just not like a super stacked NBA ready player right off the bat. He is a solid elite college player who has NBA potential. He could probably go to the NBA right now. He'd be just fine, but he wants to come back. It's perfect, guys. I mean, if we're going to win, it's going to be on James York and Ryan Warren's shoulders. I want to get Jeff Daniels involved somehow, but it's going to be close, right? If we take a look at the polls and media, just for you guys to see, North Carolina on top. There's Seton Hall, like I told you about. Seton Hall is a very, very dangerous team. You guys can see the rest of the teams fill out here, but UNC, I guess they've been building up recruiting classes. We've been building up recruiting classes, and Seton Hall has a crazy recruiting class. So anyways, boys, I'm going to go get through the rest of transfer portals. That's basically it. I'm just going to offer honestly to some random senior, and we're going to move on. All right, boys, welcome back. We're done with the transfer portal again. I just kind of gave the scholarship to like some random, it's just some random guy who's a good guy, not too concerned about playing time. That's all I was looking for. Just some guy who wants to ride a championship-worthy roster and maybe win a ring. You know, who's a guy who could just like hype up the team in the bench, emotionally get them going. You know, just a guy like that. But anyways, again, James York going to be the star of the team. We need him to play out of his mind. We're going to need more 16 points per game, maybe closer to 18 points per game for us to win. Ryan Warren, he's really going to have to step up for us. And again, our third and fourth best players are both guards who are going to be backups. So we're really good within our like front court, or our back court with our point guard and shooting guard. I like Josh Fox. I think Josh Fox is a really, really good player. I like Andy Kennedy too. He's a really, really good player. So we might run double centers. Our forward transfers are pretty good as well. So we're going to have a lot to think about and to be able to adjust. Is this a championship-worthy roster? I think so. I think it's going to be tough, though, because we don't have, like, one, like, besides James York, like, we're missing, like, that Murray Gilmore level of talent, right? That just super elite level talent that comes out of high school and is just so good, you know, a LeBron James or anyone who's just like a one and done, Pablo Banchero, stuff like that. So we're going to need more one and dones. We're going to go ahead and get through summer travel here. We're going to go visit all the elite camps, the elite camp and then all the regional camp, boys. So, boys, I'm going to get through high school recruiting. You guys know how I like to do it. I'll give you guys the updates when I'm done. And like who I target, and then we'll go from there, and we'll see how this team competes. You know, it's pretty much going to be Seton Hall's kind of year, in my opinion. It's going to be a Seton Hall versus everyone else. UNC as well, they got a really good transfer. You know, we're still in it this year. We have a lot to look forward to, a lot to play for. We're not going to make it easy on them. We're not just going to let them, you know, run us over and just completely like, oh, we got all the best players. You know, we're a good coach. We got a good team. We're going to be able to put up a fight. Definitely should be able to compete and dominate the SEC. It's just on the national stage, like how do you compete against the UNCs, the Seton Halls, and the Texas? So, all right, boys. I'm going to get through high school recruiting, give you guys the updates, and we'll go from there, and let's get into some games. Hey, boys, I just wanted to bring you guys back before we get to recruiting. Murray Gilmore went second overall in the draft. It just shows you how good he was. I mean, we got to find another guy who can go, you know, top 5 in the draft. Those are guys who can really help you win. Damon Johnson, who was our starting small forward, or who was our guard playing there, he went there. Our starting point guard, B.J. Bailey. They all went. We had 3 players go in the first round. Jared McKinley goes second round. Early second round too. So, we had B.J. Bailey, Damon Johnson, and Murray Gilmore, obviously. And then, you know, we had a really high-level second-round pick. And, man, that's 4. We had 4 NBA draft picks on that team, guys. It just shows you how good we were. 4 NBA draft picks, 1 in the top 5, multiple in the top 15, 2 in the top 15. That's what you need to be able to win the national championship. So, anyways, guys, I just kind of wanted to show you that we had 4 players drafted. That really helps our drafted players. Basically doubles what we had. 4 drafted players in 1 recruiting class. Elite recruiting there. So we got to do more of the same to have a good run next year as well. We'll see if there's any, you know, crazy stories coming up, but. All right, guys, I'm going to get to recruiting. You guys know how I do recruiting. Going to give you guys the highlights, and we'll go from there. All righty, boys. Really early on, a really elite shooting guard. I don't know if James York is going to leave us like our current year. James York could leave us, so it is a little scary. However, our starting point guard or our starting shooting guard can leave us at any time. It's good to have another guard in the back. So we might be overloading on guards, but here's the thing. I'd rather overload on guards and overload on the best players available than not. This guy is the MVP at the Indy Elite camp. I always want to go after the Indy Elite. I'm going to give him a scholarship really early. I want to go after the MVP at the Indy Elite. It's just, if you get this guy, This guy will change your program. He is absolutely elite at everything. Offense, defense, he just has no weakness. This guy would be a one and done national championship carrier. So, I mean, he's all about scoring points. So, we're going after the MVP Indy Elite. After that, we're going to go after a couple power forwards, maybe a couple small forwards, a couple players like that. But, I mean, Terrell Alexander, he's our main #1 overall prospect. So, I wanted to show you guys him. I'm offering him really, really early in the cycle, so hopefully we can build some momentum with him. And we'll go from there, boys. Let's keep recruiting. All right, boys. I mean, it's not shortly after that I found another prospect that I wanted to go to, a power forward in the top 5. We're in his top 5 wish list. We're going to offer this guy a scholarship. I mean, we're really struggling at power forward this year. I'd really like to bring in Jason Desmond from Maryland to be able to hold down our power forward position. He's top 5 in his class. Probably the best power forward. He is the best power forward in his position. I mean, easy offer. I mean, easy offer. So we have an offer at shooting guard and an offer at power forward. We're really going to ride these guys, and then we'll look for other positions a little bit later. So I'll go ahead and keep on recruiting guys. But we have our 2 main offers, Jason Desmond and the other Terrell Alexander. We get those guys. That is a championship mold between those 2 guys right there. So let's keep on recruiting, boys, and I'll see you guys when we get some more offers and some more information. All right, boys, I think this is going to be another one of my prospects. Ray Douglas here. He was top 25 at Indy. He's top 5 in the local regional Memphis camp where we're hot. We're one of his hot top 5 teams. We really need a lot of help at power forward since we just kind of pulled in some seniors to really help us out. I know we were offered one of those really elite top 5 guys, but we need to offer a guy like this a scholarship just so we have a nice backup option in case we don't get our top dude, because he's already really hot on us. So we went double power forward and shooting guard. So I'm going to look for maybe like a point guard, maybe a small forward. I didn't find a lot of elite small forwards, so I'm probably going to go with point guard to anticipate Ryan leaving. We're either going to go point guard or shooting guard to anticipate our starting point guard leaving for the draft. So that way we have a nice elite one in the backup. But right now, 2 power forwards. Hopefully we get one of them. And I'll keep recruiting here, boys, and keep trying to find these top prospects. All right, boys. Actually, I think I found my point guard. I think this is something that I found just like right away. It didn't take me too long. He's top 5 in Chicago, top 10 in Indy, one of the elite camps. He's a point guard. We're number 2 on his list. We would go point guard, shooting guard, double power forward. And one of those power forwards could play small forward if necessary. I think this is going to be a good guy to go after. So I'm going to give Wes Ivory the scholarship, and that's going to be our offers, guys. So we'll go ahead and we'll keep evaluating, and we'll go from there, and we'll see what happens. All right, boys, welcome back. We're about to just get into the start of in-home visits. We're at September 11th, as you see. I brought you boys a little bit early. Some boys have committed. I don't think any of our guys committed. Look at Clemson pulling off a top power, a pretty good power forward, so good for them. Nobody else committed, so let's go ahead and go to our recruits offered. We already have our 4. Terrell Alexander, we're not even on his top 10, but we're not too far away. We're going to visit him and talk to him about prestige. I mean, we are the defending national championships. We are the most prestigious. We have the best facilities. We have everything we need for Terrell Alexander. You got to look at this, guys. Take it with a grain of salt, right? Look at the prestige. He cares so much about prestige. I don't even give a damn about academics. We are one of the top 3 prestigious schools. Now, he might pick North Carolina over us if he really wants to go there, but we're going to give it a try. So Terrell Alexander, Jason Desmond, we're number 1 on his list. Talk about being the defending national champions. We got it. Ray Douglas is another one of those guys. We're going to talk to him about kind of playing close to home. He's more of a location kind of guy. He's from Georgia. Man, Arkansas is not too far from Georgia. And then Wes Ivory was another guy. He's top 2, top 10 player. He's really, really good. We're going to talk to him about playing time, that he's going to play. He's going to be the starting point guard after our guy leaves. So that's going to be our 4 offers, guys. We'll go ahead and see who we get. I have a backup shooting guard in case this guy doesn't commit. I feel really good about the other 3, so we'll go ahead and see what happens. I was thinking about like cutting a guy and then offering another scholarship, but I just couldn't see who we could cut. I mean, there is a 2-star, but I just don't think it's necessary right now. Maybe I'll look into it next week. But for right now, those are going to be our offers. Guys, I'm going to pause it, and let's go ahead and see if we can pick up all 4 of these guys. All right, boys, here we are. Welcome back. We have 3 decisions. We don't have one from Terrell Alexander, who that's good because he didn't commit to UNC right now. These other 3 guys, I have a really good feeling that we're going to get them. So Wes Ivory, all 3 of these guys, really good. Terrell Alexander, we still have some work to do, but I'm pretty sure we got all 3 of these guys. We did. So we got 3 of the guys that we knew we were going to get. Let's take a look at Terrell Alexander and see if we're making any progress. We went to hot, so we are climbing. We are climbing that list. And, you know, UNC is no longer in the top team, so they're not really going after this guy. We're going to go ahead and visit him and go on prestige. Now, I'm going to look at the shooting guards here. I was looking at Gary Cooks here because he's a really, really good player, top 10 player, MVP at Memphis. I'm going to visit him and talk to him about prestige, being the best player in or being the best program in the country. We just won the national championship. And guys, actually, I'm going to take a risk here. I'm going to go ahead and cut this shooting guard, Rick, that we got through transfer. He hasn't done anything for us, honestly, and he's just kind of holding up a scholarship spot, even though he's a senior. Actually, no, never mind, because cutting him won't get us another scholarship. I'd have to cut like a junior or a freshman, which I can't really see. So actually, no, we're not going to cut anybody. Now, the more I think about it, the more that guy is actually just a backup role player right now. So anyways, we have our backup shooting guard. Maybe we can go after like another backup just in case. But anyways, we're going to go Terrell Alexander. If not, Gary is going to be our next backup. I'll try and find a couple other positions like Marco here. Let's see. He's top 5. He's not going to come here right away. Like I had to go after this guy right away. He's probably going to go to Clem, like one of these top schools. Look at Clemson, like fighting for these top schools, man. The impact that we have on Clemson is still being felt, you know, even when we're not there. So, anyways, guys, I mean, it's really Terrell Alexander or like Walt Palmer. Like we might have a chance at this guy who wants some prestige as well, but most likely these guys are going to commit to other schools. So, if we just take a look at the recruiting class that we got right now, 2 5-star power forwards. I mean, we have really, really good power forward play now to replace the seniors. Jason Desmond being the top guy. I mean, this guy is going to start right away. Wes Ivory, he's a borderline 5-star, but he's a 4-star. Top 10 player, really good point guard. Might be able to stay all 4 years, but we'll see. I really like that. So now we just got to look for our shooting guard and a couple other players, and we'll be in business, boys. So anyways, I'm going to go ahead and get through the rest of recruiting, and we'll see what happens. Actually, I'm going to keep you guys here, actually, because we're at the schedule right now, right? So we're at schedule. Pretty favorable. We're in the Hoops for Troops tournament. Other than that, I mean, Iowa at home is pretty cute. Memphis on the road is pretty cute. Not going to adjust the schedule. This is the athletic director shop. I'm going to advance, guys. I hope we get Terrell Alexander. All right, boys, welcome back. We didn't get Terrell. He goes to Seton Hall. So Seton Hall gets the MVP again. So that's not good. Let's see who's still left in here that we can recruit. Nobody. Basically nobody. Everyone committed. Oh, that sucks so much to lose Terrell to Seton Hall. We weren't even close, man. So maybe I was stretching a little too much to try and get this guy. And now Gary, no, he went and committed to Clemson. That's so bad for us. Clemson has put up together a really good recruiting class. Do we have any point guards who are available? No, we basically missed out. We basically went big fish hunting, and we came up short. So Terrell Alexander, the best player in the class, goes to Seton Hall. Man, Seton Hall is getting a lot of momentum. Good on them, man. Good on Seton Hall. But I feel like I made a mistake. I probably should have went after Gary Crooks, who was a really, really good shooting guard. Not as good, but, you know, good enough to hold the program. But now that they're all committed, it's tough, right? We could offer to, like, a center, but I just don't think it's what we need. Small forward, top 25. It's just not what we need, right? Even another power forward. Like, are we really going to load up on power forward again? 3 power forwards? I guess. He doesn't care about playing time. I mean, I guess we go after 3 power forwards. It's just kind of awkward, right? Like, how many power forwards do we have on the roster? I think we just have 2 seniors. I'm really disappointed that we didn't get another shooting guard, because now if James York leaves us, we only am bringing in a point guard, right? So, and then we don't know if Jeff Daniels is going to stay. Most likely Jeff Daniels is not going to be happy with coming off the bench. So, we'll see. Very, very kind of weird scenario. We only got 1 guard. We didn't go after any small forwards because hopefully these guys stay and develop. Power forwards, we have 2 seniors. Yeah, that makes sense. I guess we could get 1 more. You know what? Since I don't have any other options, we'll go ahead and get another power forward who can maybe play some small forward. We'll go after this, what is it, Strami Williams dude. If he wants to come play for us, cool. If not, that's fine too. But anyways, that's going to be recruiting for us, guys. Let's go ahead and see where we stack up nationally. We're top of the SEC for sure with 2 5-stars, but let's see where we are nationally. Seton Hall might be ahead of us. No, Clemson is actually ahead of us. Clemson has actually got some really, really good recruits. So Clemson is still feeling all the respect that we've given them. So they get Chris Covert, who's okay, not the greatest, but Gary Crooks is absolutely the best player that they got. And then they added in some really, really good players to go along with them. I mean, wow. I'm super proud of Clemson. We'll go ahead and see, like, their history and stuff. Like, how are they do since we've left them? They've had a couple. They went to the Final Four. That's right. I remember we were rooting against them. Actually, they've been struggling a little bit. They've been knocked out a lot. Not doing so well. How's their budget? Budget's still the same, which is why they have a problem. Facilities are an A. I mean, they are basically set up to succeed. If you could just get them to increase the budget for you, you would be perfectly good to go here at Clemson. But, you know, we're not at Clemson anymore. We're at Arkansas. I like our recruiting class. It's, again, another top 5 recruiting class. Oops, I'm, like, completely clicking the wrong things here. It's going to finish top 5 for sure. And, yeah, I mean, we got some really, really good players. We didn't get everyone we want. It'd be really helpful if Gary Crooks was on our team, but we messed up with our targets. We tried to go big fish hunting, and unfortunately it didn't work out. But we might be able to pick up some solid role players, and we'll work on it again next year. There's always the transfer portal, and hey, James York probably won't leave us. If he didn't leave us already, he's probably not going to leave us. So anyway, Jason Desmond is our star player that we got now, top 5 at Indy. Ray Douglas as well. He was, top 25. We got some really, really good power forwards along with a great, great point guard to go. Top 10, top 5 in the region. Really, really solid player. He should take over for when our starter leaves. But anyways, boys, that's it with recruiting. We're pretty much good to go. Let's go ahead and see what this team can do in the regular season. Definitely should finish in the top 5 still, because we're really, really deep. I mean, we're so deep. We only have like 2 super studs, but after that, we are so deep. We are basically like a third-year Clemson team when I was at Clemson, where we just have some really good players, but just like a lot of depth. And we're going to be adding to that with some really, really good players here. We'll see. We should have another chance at it. So, boys, I'm going to go ahead and get through the rest of recruiting. There is no recruiting needed to be done other than that one person committing or not. If he doesn't commit, I'm not going to go after anyone else. So, I'll get through the off-season, guys. I'll get through practice, and we'll get to setting the depth chart. And then we'll get into playing some games and see how these Hogs can do this year. So, I'll see y'all in a little bit. All right, boys, welcome back. We're at the start of the regular season. We didn't get that 4th noob that we got, but hey, it's all good. Let's go ahead and get into the depth chart, guys. Let the AI suggest who should start, and we'll go from there. So obviously Ryan Warren and James York are going to be starters. That makes complete sense to me. John Howe, this is our transfer from Baylor. He looks like he's going to get the starting power forward position, so I guess we will, you know, I thought I thought he could do it. And I guess Trico would be the backup, so is it do we want Trico or Howe to start? I think they're pretty much about the same. Trico maybe has like a little bit better outside shot, but I think maybe Howe is probably a little bit better rebounding defensively. It's really close, actually, super close. I mean, Trico could easily play as well. Though he has been a starter for Maryland before, and he hasn't put up super great numbers. So, anyways, I do like running the double center here, Andy Kennedy and Josh Fox. So, I do like that, and then I like having our power forwards basically not play. I like the team. We have our elite point guards coming off, our elite guards, coming off the bench, which I like. Let's give this, I don't know why the shooting guard minute's going towards him. Let's give it to the actual shooting guard. Kind of weird. But let's see here. Ryan Tricker at small forward. Yanni Barber at, yes, this is our freshman as well who wants solid minutes. You can get the power forward minutes, and then, one of our transfer power forwards from San Jose State can be our backup center for a little bit, not too often. So, the team, honestly, guys, is pretty good. From like here on up, right? We have a really good like 8-man rotation here from Ryan Trico and above. I really like our starting front court here with or back court, excuse me. I always get that confused, guys. Our guards, our back court here with Ryan Warren and James York is great. You know, Howe or Trico can play the small forward, so they're basically kind of going to be interchangeable. And I like Josh Fox at the power forward. He's a little bit more of a stretch center. And then having Andy Kennedy at the actual center position should be good. So we should be pretty good on the starting 5. And then 3-man deeps into our rotation, we should be able to be good in case some of these guys get in foul trouble. We struggle on the 9th and 10th position on the depth. But, we have a good 8-man rotation. I really like this rotation. I think I'm going to keep it like this. Ryan Warren and James York are really going to have to carry the team. John Howe here, he can basically do what he needs to do at small forward. And then Josh Fox and Andy Kennedy, they just have to hold the inside of the court and just put the basket in when they get the ball in. So I think we should be pretty good, boys. Let's take a look at our schedule here. We don't play into a tournament until December 23rd. Other than that, it's basically just a bunch of non-conference home and away games. Honestly, we should win all of our home games. Iowa is going to be a tough matchup. Miami and Utah State on the road. Don't sleep on them. They can always do a little upset. So, boys, let's go ahead and do this. Let's go ahead and get through till December 23rd, and we can play out the Hoops for Troops tournament together to see how we perform on a neutral court. But before then, let's kind of see how we do within these 9 games. I think we can go like 8-1. 8-1 through these 9 games should be pretty good. If there was a loss, I was going to say it's going to be one of these road games, or maybe the home game against Iowa. I would really not like to lose to Iowa, but I would think we might struggle on one of these road games. But the depth chart is looking good. It is looking set. Didn't have to adjust much. The strategy is still good. They run a motion high post Princeton, mostly a motion offense though. But boys, we are good to go. Let me know what you in your head. What do you think will go through those 9 games? 8-1, 9-0. There's a chance we go 9-0. But we'll stop here at December 23rd to get to this out-of-conference tournament. See how we do on a neutral court before we finish off against Memphis. We'll send that game together before we start to get into the regular season, the conference play. So, all right, boys. Let's see how we are. Let's no more talking. Let's go ahead and see what James York and Ryan Warren can do with this team. All right, boys. I'll be right back. Let's get it. All right, boys, welcome back. We're not quite there yet. We're at November 22nd, but we did suffer an injury. Severe back pain for our starting center, Andy Kennedy, who's going to be out for 66 days. That's pretty tough, right? That's pretty much basically the whole month of December and January, so he will be back. I'm going to go ahead and let's see what the AI suggests, and I'll go ahead and adjust it from here. Okay, so they basically play what I want to. So they basically moved Ricky Trio to the power forward. Keep John Howe in there, who, all the way, John Howe is balling out, by the way. Great pickup. Josh Fox is there. The bench basically stays the same. I'll move this weird shooting guard minute over here again. Like, I don't know why we're not getting that. Actually, I'll give him a couple more minutes. Actually, no, we need James York to play as many minutes as possible. So, Jeff Daniels, I'm sorry, man. He's probably going to transfer out of the program, and that's where it sucks, where we didn't recruit a guard. But you know what? That's fine. But okay, so Andy Kennedy is out for 66 days. We will put him back in the rotation when that time comes. But Ricky, he will be playing power forward, and Josh Fox basically shifts down to his natural position. I still like, I really like our team still. Ricky has been really good off the bench. John has been a really, really good player. James York is playing out of his mind, getting 22 points per game. It's still early. Still very, very, very early. But, I mean, he's playing out of his goddamn mind. And same thing with Ryan Warren. Actually, Ryan Warren hasn't had too much impact, but James York is playing completely insane. Fox as well, 11 and 9. But it's only through 2 games, so let's get a little bit more consistency. I just wanted to let you know we suffered a pretty rough early injury, so 66 days. It's going to be pretty tough, but good thing we have a nice bench, right? So, anyways, boys, let's go ahead and keep simming, and then we'll check in on the stats and the win-loss and everything when the time comes. All right, boys, welcome back. Let's go ahead and take a look at this schedule. And we're 8-1, just like how I thought we would be. So we did pretty well. We beat Iowa at home. That was our toughest opponent. But unfortunately, we did lose on the road to Utah State. You know, the travel and just everything kind of caught up to us, and we weren't able to get it done. But if you look at the rest of our games, they really haven't been close. We've dominated Providence. They were 7-2. You know, still 7-2. That's a really good basketball team. But other than that, we really haven't had a close game. You know, we lost on the road. Utah State, man, don't sleep on them. They're a really good team. Let's go ahead and take a look at the polls in media. North Carolina, Seton Hall, Texas, Butler. Look at this. Seton Hall having a good year. UNC having a great year. So Seton Hall with all those 5 stars are still really, really good compared to where they were. We're still really, really good. It's still really early, but it's still the same teams that you think. Let's take a look at our stats, boys. James York is an absolute savage. 22.5 points per game, 5 assists, 6 rebounds, 2 steals, and a block. James York has elevated himself to absolute godlike levels. He's putting up 22 points per game. He's being a defensive menace. He is the heart and soul of our whole team. We need James York to do big and special things for us to win. So I hope he comes back for his senior year. He's playing 3 years at Arkansas, already has 1,200 points. The dude is an absolute stud, 22 points per game, killing it. John Howe, he was the right decision to start it at 13-4. I mean, he is playing very, very well here at Arkansas, so I'm glad I brought him in as a transfer. Josh Fox, basically almost a double-double, 10 points, 8 rebounds, 10 and 8. Exactly what we need from our center. Ryan as well, not doing it great, but he's doing good on the defensive side. You know, 8 points, 4 assists, and 4 rebounds. I mean, he's basically understanding that, like, Josh Fox is an absolute savage, and you just need to, or I'm sorry, James York is a savage. You just need to get the ball to him, and it just good shit will happen if you get the ball to him. I'm scared James York is going to leave us for the NBA draft at the end of the year, and we have no good shooting guard to replace him because Jeff Daniels, the freshman here, yeah, he's going to get pissed. He's not playing too many minutes, right? He's only getting a couple minutes per night, so he's going to get pissed. And we're not going to have a good guard next year. But you know what? We'll worry about that next year when we get there. But basically, boys, James York is this entire team. If you look at the pie chart, he's 25 out of 100 of the damn team, man. He is worth the whole bench. And John Howe, he's doing really well as good. Josh Fox as well. But You know, if we don't have James York, if he's injured, we're fucked. We are screwed, boys. But anyways, boys, let's play this out of conference, this Hoops for Troops here. Let's go ahead and see who is involved in this Hoop for Troops. Hey, if they're going to put us in a tournament, we're going to win it. We're the #1 seed. Wisconsin and Iowa State, Wake Forest are going to be our tough teams here. But, boys, let's go ahead and see how we do on an out-of-conference tournament here. We should be heavily favored against Appalachian State on a neutral court, even with Andy Kennedy out. We will look to get him back in the rotation, maybe. But actually, you know what, boys? Let me go ahead and show you the insights. We are, you know, we're still getting it together here. We score a lot of points, but our defense and offense ain't that great, but it's still early. We're really good overall. Excuse me, boys. I've been drinking. Yeah, we should be doing pretty good. So I think we should be able to handle Appalachian State here. I'm going to keep us here. Let's go ahead and see how we do in this out-of-conference tournament, boys. We get the job done by 8 points. James York didn't have a good game. So honestly, that was a hard-fought game against a pretty good mid-major school in Appalachian State. I'd like to beat them by more, but you know what? A win is a win. We will take the win, and we'll go ahead and move on. We get Providence. So we play Providence again. We've already beaten them at home, but now we get them on a neutral court. They do upset Wake Forest. So Iowa State and Wisconsin both lose, so we will be facing a different team. But let's go ahead and take care of Providence on a neutral court. Providence is actually a really, really, really good team. I think we beat them in our home court, but we'll go ahead and see, you know, how we can do against them on a neutral court. It's a lot closer, apparently, but let's see what we can make happen. We do, wow, we fucking smashed them. We almost beat them by 40. My goodness. Providence. Obviously, Providence is not a team that can hang with us. We are one of the top teams in the country. Now we are in the finals of this out-of-conference tournament. Listen, I know it's a useless out-of-conference tournament. Nobody really cares about it. But you know what? I care about it. And it means something to me. And it means something to these players who are playing on the court. So, you know what? Like, we're going to win this shit. If you're going to put us in any tournament, we are competitive enough to try to win it. I don't give a damn what kind of tournament it is. So we get UCF, Central Florida at the end of it. We should smash these guys. So, but congrats to UCF. You know, I mean, they made it pretty deep in an out-of-conference tournament that they probably weren't supposed to go that deep in. Congrats to them. But you ran into a buzzsaw that is Arkansas. And we smashed them. James York put up 26-point. Ricky Tricco. Tate Cleaver, one of our fucking trash power forward transfers, actually showed up on the top 3. So congrats to him, man. You know, that's why you always got to look for those kind of guys. You never know who you can end up with. Let's go ahead, boys. Let's just take a look at the top 5. It's still UNC, Seton Hall, Texas, and us, right? So it's going to be a North Carolina, Seton Hall, Texas, Arkansas kind of top 4 along with everybody else. But trust me, Seton Hall is elite. North Carolina, they're probably really good as well. Texas is always there. And then, you know, we're there representing the SEC. If we take a look at the SEC standings, we are #1. It is still it's a very deep SEC. 5 ranked teams. I mean, crazy. No, 3, 4, 5, 6 ranked teams, excuse me. And Kentucky is still there, probably right outside. So, really, really tough conference still. But anyways, guys, we started off 11-1. We win at the out-of-conference. We have Memphis on the road, which should be a tough game. Even though they're 5-7, it should still be a tough game. So, you know what, boys? I'm going to go ahead and let's how long is this injury for? And honestly, I'm thinking like maybe Andy Kennedy doesn't even... Maybe we don't need to play. Maybe we just do play double forward, and Andy Kennedy will come back for his senior year happy, and you know, he can play then. But unfortunately, you know, he just might be out this year. But anyways, boys, just a little sore foot. I just saw that as well. But we have our dude. You know, we have James York. John Howe, the transfer, really good transfer. I'm really happy that we picked him up. A couple of these other dudes are going to be pissed. Hopefully we keep them. But anyways, boys, let's go ahead and sim through the rest of December. Let's go ahead and also sim through the rest of January. We will pick up in February when we played half of our conference schedule, and we'll go from there. I think the only really tough games that we have are like Vanderbilt on the road, LSU on the road, Other than that, I mean, any SEC team can beat you in their home court. So we just got to try to handle our business, see what kind of team we are. It's a tough conference, but we'll make do with what we got, and we'll go from there. So, all right, boys, I'm going to pause it. Let's go ahead and get through half of the conference season, and we'll check in from there and see where we're at. But we're on track to be a national championship worthy team. Another great year, so let's get it, boys. All right, boys, welcome back. We're midway through the conference schedule, and we are doing pretty good. We are 20-2 right now. We obviously took that loss to Utah State, but we did win a really close game against Memphis. Memphis, man, even though they're unranked, man, they're a tough team, tough environment to play in. But if you take a look at our wins here, we were doing really, really good. Took a really hard loss to Florida on the road. They're unranked, but they have some really, really, really good players, and just unfortunately we just didn't show up that night, and we took a loss. Stuff like that's going to happen during the course of a season. We probably have one more loss in us somewhere, but we are doing really, really well. Beating LSU, they were like 17-3 when we played them, only in the top 25. Probably should be ranked higher, but we also beat Kentucky twice, which is great. We love to see that. Kentucky has completely fallen off this sim. I mean, they are nothing. They haven't won a national championship. They are severely struggling as a program, and looks like Arkansas is kind of taking over. But if you take a look at our next couple schedules, look at this 3-game stretch. At Tennessee, home against number 5 Alabama, and at top 25 Texas A&M. So really, really tough stretch here. But let's go ahead and take a look at the standings in the SEC. We are obviously on top 8-1. Alabama is right there as well, and then Texas A&M, along with a couple other schools that are doing well, like LSU. Florida has a win over us, but we have our toughest test against Alabama and A&M to come still. So anyways, if we take a look, probably UNC still on top, 21-1. They're playing really well. Seton Hall as well. All their 5 stars, they're doing well. But then, we're right up with them with Iowa. We have a win over Iowa, so that's really good. We have given them one of their only losses. Now, it was on our home court, so on a neutral court, it would be a little bit different. But hey, Tennessee as well. I was up there, Alabama, Tennessee. Really, really, really good teams. Tennessee's ranked 6, and they're 17-6, 4-5 in SEC play. I didn't even see them. Honestly, it shocked me. So, but we are a top 5 worthy school. Seton Hall, North Carolina. Obviously, it's going to be interesting if we can meet them in the Elite 8 or the Final 4. But let's just, if we take a look at our stats really quick, it's still the same boys, man. James York is still getting over 20 points per game. James York is an absolute savage carrying this team. John Howe, the transfer, is doing really well. And then as you can see here, it's like a couple 10 points per game. Ricky Tricot, he's just kind of like, filling in his role. I'm going to check on Jeff Daniels. He hates the team. He's okay with me. They like being on winning rosters, If we take a look at Simon as well. Simon, he's the same thing. He wants to play. He is playing, but you're just on such an elite team that it's hard to get minutes. It's hard to get points, and James York is the absolute stud of the team. Look at his game logs, guys. I mean, barely does he not get 20 points per game. Even a 30 bomb, 26 bomb. So, we are doing really, really, really well, boys. I don't know what else to say. We are doing really, really well. And we're on pace for another Final 4 run. We're a top 4 team. We've put it together. Now we've been here before when we were at Clemson. We've been here before. Clemson isn't even a top 25 team apparently, but still. So, anyways, boys, let's go ahead. It's already been an hour into this episode. Let's go ahead and just get through the rest of the regular season and get to conference tournament. Here we are at the quarterfinals. James York is second on this list. Torian Whitehead, who was probably the MVP if I remember, he is averaging just as many points. But James York is right behind there, man. He is averaging 22. He is making his case for player of the whole nation, player of the year for the whole nation. We also have Josh Fox, who has made this list. He's just barely made this list. Andy Kennedy as well has probably recovered, but I kind of like the lineup that we have right now, and Andy Kennedy can kind of come back next year. I don't want to disrupt the flow of the team. So, boys, let's go ahead and get through the rest of this schedule. We'll come in and we'll check on this 3-game stretch on how we've done here. I expect a couple losses still. Maybe a loss at Tennessee. Could happen at Texas A&M. Hopefully we get our revenge against Florida and Alabama. This is a close game. Anybody can win. So maybe two losses. 2 losses I can be okay with. 3 it would be a little bit tough. But anyways, boys, let's go ahead and get through the rest of it and see what we can do. Finish off the regular season. We should be the regular season champs, but, you know, it's a really, really close race. Let's just go ahead and see what we can do and get towards the postseason, boys. All right, boys, welcome back. Let's go ahead and take a look at how we finished off. 27-4. So, a couple more, you know, we took 2 losses on the back stretch. Not too bad. You know, stuff like that's going to happen in the regular season. If you take a look here, when we started at the Georgia game, we did good. 1-point win against Auburn. That's how I knew we were really, really close. And it's like, dang, you know, anything can really happen. But look at this 3-game stretch. We did good against Tennessee, and we did good against Alabama, and then we lost against Texas A&M by 12. So that was tough. But this right here, a 1-point loss to Florida, that stings because that means Florida has 2 wins over us. So Florida is a really, really tough team for us to handle. But overall, we go 27 wins, 4 losses, still really, really good. We are the SEC regular season champions by 2 games. We did really, really well. Regular season champions, you know, doesn't mean there's no trophy for it. There's nothing for it. It means something to me, though. So, our schedule, really, really well. I would have liked to get this home win to go 28-3, but we took a 1-point loss. Every loss that we had besides that was on the road, Utah State. So, we are a good team. We are capable of winning it all. Just there are some times where we can't score enough points, and we don't play good enough defense, and we can't get it done. If we took a look at the insights here, boys, we are a top 10 defense, but not a top 10 offense. So I don't know if we have enough scoring to be able to get it done, but we'll definitely give it a try. Obviously, UNC is the #1 defensive leader. That's pretty crazy. Let's take a look at the stats here. Or not the stats. The seating Seton Hall and North Carolina on top still, like I thought Seton Hall would be really good. But other than that, it's still us and Iowa, Seton Hall, North Carolina. Texas is kind of falling off a little bit. 21-9. Yeah, Texas is not the same team, but BYU is definitely kind of taking control. 15-1. You can see the teams here. I'm not going to say it all. Georgetown finally making a bounce back. Northern Iowa has a really surprising mid-major ranking there in the top 10. So, I mean BYU too. They're in the top 5 mid-major. Gonzaga struggling. Illinois State, good for them. Illinois State, really good for them. The Gauchos, you see Santa Barbara Gauchos. Anyways, let's take a look at the stats, boys. It's going to basically be the same. James York, John Howell. It's the same boys, right? James York is the heart and soul of our team, for sure. So, yeah, boys, let's go ahead and let's take a look at our emails here. It looks like James York has made the finalists top 10 for best player. Sorry, I was looking at this guy from Clemson. I'm like, I think we recruited that guy. So the guy from Clemson that we recruited ends up being in the top 10. So, but James York is right here with Torian Whitehead to try and take. So Torian is 22-11. That's pretty tough. But 21-4. I mean, this is a crazy stat line. 2.5 steals a game. This is crazy. Yeah, him and Torian are gonna be fighting for this player of the year. It really could go to either one of these guys, and we're like completely overlooking Devin Gross here, who's also a savage. So that's pretty good. We have a top 10 worthy player in James York. I don't know if he's going to come back or not, but that's what this player's declaring for draft email is all about, boys. So let's go ahead and take a look at this and see who we are losing for this year. Okay, so we lose Ryan Warren. That's unfortunate. We knew that, but we brought in a point guard to be able to replace him. We knew that would happen. James York. Unfortunately, in his junior year, he realizes how good of a player he is. He now has completely risen his stock in the NBA, and he is going to declare. So that does hurt. Especially if we lose our backup shooting guard to the transfer portal because he wasn't playing. That's going to suck. Andy Kennedy, he has decided after his third year that he wants to try and test his luck in the NBA. I would have loved to have him back for 1 year, but unfortunately not. So we lose our starting point guard, our starting shooting guard, and a backup center. But we basically lose our top 2 players. So we have Ryan Warren here to come in. Wes Ivory here to come in to be able to replace the point guard position. So hopefully Wes Ivory will be able to step up to the plate. We have 2 power forwards to replace the power forwards that we have as transfers, so that's good, but we need Jeff Daniels to stay, which I think he'll stay. I think this is a pretty good likelihood that he'll stay and give it a chance. Like, he understands James York is leaving. This guy is graduating. He's the only shooting guard left on the roster. You're going to get the starting position. Simon Seitz, same thing. He might be the starter or a backup as well. They're both 4 stars. They're both really, really good. So if we can keep Jeff Daniels and Simon, bring in the other point guard, and then maybe we can work on the shooting guard next year because we lose James York. We can get like a transfer depth-wise. We should be good. Now, Ricky Tricco, he's doing really good. John Howe, he's also doing really good, so they should stay. Janny Barber might hate us, but that's okay if he stays or leave. Austin Watt, our power forwards, I'm not worried about. We do lose Andy Kennedy, but Josh Fox does. Seems like he's going to come back. So, unfortunately, we do lose James York. That's like probably the biggest blow to us, but maybe Jeff Daniels can step up next year and he can be that quality. We have a great point guard coming in for him to battle with Simon. Small forward, we have our transfer still coming back. Power forward, we're bringing in 2 absolute elite stud level worthy players, and Jason Desmond probably going to get the position. We should still be really, really good next year, boys. So if we take a look at the schedule, well, we already did 27-4. No need to look at it further. We look at the boys. Let's go ahead and get to our SEC tournament game, which is on March 9th. So I'm going to go ahead and sim. We're going to get to that game, but let's go, boys. We should still be able to compete for the national championship. We're a top 5 team. You know, we should be able to make it to the Sweet 16 and push really hard for the Final 4. But we'll see, right? It all depends on how James York played. He is such a huge impact for our team. And we'll see how that goes. So anyways, boys, I will go ahead and sim till we get to our first game in the SEC tournament. Let's see if we can go back-to-back SEC tournament champions. All right, my brothers, here we are. First game of the SEC tournament for us. And we get Auburn, who we had a 1-point win over. So they are looking to get back at us. It's going to be really, really close. Other than that, I mean, all the top seeds are all here, all 1 through 8. So we get Auburn on a neutral court. Let's see. We should still be heavily favorite, even though they took us really, really close on the road. We should be able to take care of business here, and we'll be looking at, like, who would we be looking to face? Florida or LSU? Honestly, we want Florida because we've lost to them twice in the regular season. We want them on a neutral court. So, all right, let's go ahead and see if we can take care of Auburn here, boys. We are able to take care of Auburn. James York, Ricky Trio, Josh Fox. Good amount of players able to get the job done. Now, do we get Florida? We want Florida. We don't care who it is, but we want Florida. It ends up being LSU. So Florida loses to LSU. We don't get that option. Alabama gets upset, and as well Texas A&M moves through. So A little bit of drama happening here with the 7th seed beating Alabama, and while Texas A&M they are advancing. Tennessee is a tough team. Now LSU is a very, very tough team. They're 25-8, only ranked 22. You know, it's a game that I expect us to win. It's a game that I expect us to handle, but you never know with these kind of teams that can win 25 games. It's always scary. A team that can win 25 games, they're still scary. I don't know how they're only ranked 22, but they're doing really well. Let's see if we can take care of business. We can take care of business. We beat them more by 20. James York had 33 points, went absolutely psychopathic, and just destroyed LSU to put us into the SEC championship game. Vanderbilt upsets Texas A&M, so 7th seeded Vanderbilt advances all the way to the championship game, trying to make their case to get into the NCAA tournaments. Honestly, they've made their case for me. They beat Alabama, they beat Texas A&M on a neutral court, and they're facing us. You know, if they win, obviously they get the automatic, you know, qualifier, but they've proven to me as an at-large bid that they can get it done. But we've beaten Vanderbilt. I think we should have this. Robert Cabrera is still there, man. Robert Cabrera, who is like their elite 5-star player, is still there for them. Let's just kind of take a look at the roster here. Yeah, Robert Cabrera is an absolute insane man, 18 and 11. But other than that, we should really have the advantage at guard and everywhere else and on the bench. So we've played a lot of ranked opponents. They definitely have played a lot of ranked opponents. But boys, let's just go ahead and get it done. Can we be the back-to-back SEC tournament champions and back-to-back regular season champions? It would be awesome, boys, and then that would give us a huge boost into the NCAAs to let us know we can do it. So start here in the SEC, and then let's finish it in the NCAAs. Let's see what we can do, boys. Wow, we can't get it done. James York only has 4 points, and we get blown out by Vanderbilt. So Vanderbilt doesn't even have to worry about getting an at-large bid. They are going to go ahead and get the automatic qualifier by winning the SEC tournament, and we fall short of winning the SEC conference tournament. We are the runner-ups. And it's a little scary, boys, right? It's a little scary. Like, if we couldn't handle Vanderbilt on a neutral court, what's going to happen when we get into the Sweet 16 or the Final Four against really good teams? So James York did not have a good game. That's really unfortunate. Really tough. Really tough way to end the season. But I kind of knew that we didn't have a player like Murray Gilmore this year who can just completely take over the game. We lose to Vanderbilt on a neutral court, and it's tough, man. We're still going to make the NCAAs. We're probably going to be a 1 seed still, but it makes you wonder, like, we are capable of being upset to a good team. We're not going to lose to bad teams, but a team like Vanderbilt, where they have a guy like Robert Cabrera who could just carry the team, it's scary. So, but hey, we can't rest on spilled milk, boys. Let's go ahead and see what we can do in the NCAAs. I think if we can make it to the Final Four, that would be really, really good. And a championship run this year would be absolutely amazing. I don't think it's expected. That's what the board wants. Of course, that's what the board wants. But if I realistically look at this team, taking losses to Texas A&M on the road, Florida at home, Vanderbilt on the neutral court, I'm not sure we're quite there. We are a really, really good team, but we are very capable of being upset in the tournament. So let's just see what happens, boys. No more talking. We'll let the basketball do the talking from here on out. I'm going to go ahead and sim and get to the selection show, and I will see you boys there. All right, boys, here we are at the selection show. Like I said, you can go ahead and pause and see any of the individual matchups you want, but I'm going to go ahead and go through this pretty quickly. And just kind of see Kansas in a play-in game is absolutely hilarious. Same thing with Baylor. But Iowa gets the #1 overall seed. They must have won the Big Ten. Congrats to them. Ohio State, Iowa State, Alabama, more SEC love. So really, really cool region. Appalachian State, who we have a win in. LSU, St. John, and Clemson. Look at that. So Clemson, they have having kind of a down, not a down year. 21-12 is still really, really, really good to get an automatic bid. But next year, Clemson should be a lot better with the recruiting class that they brought in. North Carolina gets the next 1 seed, 32-2. They are a very, very strong team. BYU gets the 2, Cincinnati and Texas. So very, very tough draw for BYU to be able to have to play North Carolina in the Elite 8. But hey, nothing's ever easy. So the Gauchos make it, Oklahoma and Utah State, who has a win over us. So that's that. We still do get a 1 seed in the Dallas region, 29-5. Arkansas, we did do good. We get Maryland, Baltimore. We should smash these guys. But we'll see what happens in our region. We get UConn, which is favorable. Look at South Carolina State. Can I get a round of applause for South Carolina State making the tournament again? Let's go, boys. Go Bulldogs. Ooh, ooh, ooh. South Carolina State. Let's pull off the upset. Probably not going to happen, but, you know, that was my initial team. So, anyways, hey, Vanderbilt's going to be in our region too. The CPU's got some laughs. Georgetown, A&M, who has a win over us. Gonzaga, Florida, who has a win over. It seems like the fucking game is hilarious. So, Florida, we've lost. Texas A&M, we've lost. Vanderbilt, we've lost. And, well, we've beaten Providence twice, and we haven't played Florida State. So, really, really interesting region. I mean, I don't think it's that difficult at all. I think we can really make it to the Final Four, but we'll see. Let's see. Seton Hall is on this side, who's a very, very good team. Colorado, Northern Iowa. Congrats to them for getting a huge bid. Illinois State looks like they're going to get upset. Ball State looks like they're going to get upset. I mean, these are some really high-ranked mid-major teams, so Michigan State. But there you go, boys. There you go. That's your NCAAs. Some of you guys like to see who the first 4 left out were. They're basically going to be the top seeds in the NIT, right? So Arizona is one of the first teams left out. Chicago State, Indiana, and West Virginia. Those are the first 4 teams left out of the tournament. But boys, let's go ahead and get to our game, which is on the 17th. I'm going to go ahead and pause and get to it. Let's see what kind of run we can make in the tournament here. We obviously had a disappointment in the championship game, but we can make it all up in the NCAAs. So let's go ahead and get to it, boys. I will see y'all there. All right, boys, here we are, March 17th. We got our first game against 16th seed Maryland, Baltimore. Now, this is the team that upset UVA. So, hey, I mean, if there's any crazy, like, storyline, you know what's crazy? James York is almost our leaders in everything. I almost thought he was our rebound leader, but obviously Josh Fox is. But listen, Maryland, Baltimore has done it before. They've knocked off a 1 seed. IRL, let's not let it happen in this video game. Let's go ahead and take care of our business and move on to the second round. Apparently we have an invalid roster before that sim, so we're missing garbage time minutes somehow. I don't know how that happened. We're missing power forward garbage time minutes. So here you go. I guess you can get them. I don't know. I mean, it's garbage time minutes. So, anyways, let's go ahead. Let's get past this first round, boys. I'm gonna keep y'all here. We should take care of business. Yeah, we did take care of business. Josh Rush, James York, John Howe. Exactly what we needed to do to get past the first round, save our energy, and let's see. Do we get Florida State or Providence? We do get Florida State. So I'm gonna check out our roster here. Ricky did get injured. He has a torn MCL. Are you kidding me? So you're telling me during the tournament our boy suffers a freaking torn MCL? That's tragic. So it means Kennedy is going to have to come in and play, which is okay. But that sucks, man. A torn MCL out for 300 days. He's going to be out basically most of next season. So that's really brutal for us. for that to happen during a playoff game is tough. Now we got to put in Andy Kennedy, who I don't mind playing. I really don't mind playing. I just didn't want to mess up our starting lineup mojo. So we'll see how that works. Everybody is still getting their minutes that I want them to, and we'll go from there. I mean, we can't change it. So we get Florida State. Let's go ahead and get past this side, and we'll take a look at the Sweet 16. Texas gets upset. You guys can see it right here. Poor Texas. Texas just can't put it together. Let's see what we can do. So one of our main starters gets injured, but we get to replace him with a starter that was injured where Ricky replaced him. So it's kind of come full circle. But unfortunately, Ricky tore his MCL, man. I mean, that is just brutal. You just don't want to see something like that. Anyways, boys, we get Florida State. It should be a lot more interesting. Obviously, here's our boy with a torn MCL. But second round, Florida State, they're a good team. They won 23 games. We should be better than them, but listen, anything can happen on a neutral court and on the NCAAs with all the emotions and energies. We are the defending national champions. We have a lot of pressure on our side, but we need to make Sweet 16. If we don't make Sweet 16, that would be brutal. That would be really, really tough. We are definitely Sweet 16 worthy. We need to at least make it there. Anything past the Sweet 16 is always going to be tough. But we are the number 1 seed, right? So let's take care of business. Woo! Really close game, boys. Really close game. 5-point win. We'll take it. But, boys, that's scary. That's really, really scary of a matchup. And now John Howe is injured. Why are we suffering all of our major injuries now during the tournament? John Howe, he sprained his toe. He's still going to have to play. Listen, you're just going to have to play, man. It just kind of is what it is. So we're kind of having really bad luck here. We suffered a major injury in the tournament, as well as we suffered a minor to like a mid-mild injury. So we're kind of getting unlucky with this injury. The injury bug is kind of going around our program. But we can still continue on from right now. Let's go ahead and look at the Sweet 16. How's the Sweet 16 playing out? Obviously, you see we played Georgetown. Iowa lost by 3 to UCLA. NC Asheville is in as a 13 seed. What is happening on the Philadelphia region? Craziness. LSU beats Iowa State. Wow, what a crazy first region. So Iowa doesn't make it. UNC has been slapping folks. Xavier did get over in. This has been a pretty chalky region. The Dallas, we are in. South Carolina State, they did it. They beat UConn. Oh my goodness. Our very first team. Our first team in here, boys. South Carolina State as a 15 seed. They beat UConn really handily too. Then they win a close game against Illinois, and now they get Vanderbilt. Boys, can you imagine if we get to play South Carolina State in the Elite 8? Wow. I really don't want to play Vanderbilt because Vanderbilt has our number. They already do really well against us. A&M got knocked off by a 12 seed. Crazy region here. In our last region, Seton Hall has been doing really well. Murray State, look at these upset guys. Look what the transfer portal has done. The transfer portal has allowed these 13 seeds and teams that would never have a chance to be able to have a chance. So this has been pretty chalky besides like Bucknell and Murray State. But boys, let's go ahead and get there. I'm going to keep you guys right here with me, and we'll go ahead and sim through all of these NIT and lower level tournament games, and we'll go from there. We'll see what we can do, and we'll see what we can make happen. We get Georgetown. Pretty tough team, right? They are the 4 seed. We wouldn't have to face the 2 seed in UConn, but Vanderbilt is right there hanging along. So we'll play the other side of this bracket. Looks like Cincinnati beat BYU. We'll take a look at the bracket when we get to the Final Four. But we get Georgetown. It's going to be a really, really close game. They favored us by 9.5, but we have so many injuries to try to overcome. We'll see what we can make happen here. Vanderbilt over South Carolina State. We're rooting for South Carolina State here, boys. We want to face them in the Elite 8. Gosh, what a game that would be. So here, we got to take care of the Hoyas, though. We got to take care of Georgetown. They're a really, really good Big East team. doing really well. But come on. We're Elite 8 bound. We're the #1 seed. This is where we should be. Let's see if we can take care of our jobs. Now, anything... this is going to be tough matchups from here on out. So, let's see. Let's go, boys. James York, Ryan Warren, Andy Kennedy. Andy Kennedy having a really good game. Let's go. We make it to the Elite 8. We get past the Sweet 16, and we get Vanderbilt, South Carolina State. They lose 100-73. The ride is over, and now we're in the Elite 8, boys. UCLA beats NC Asheville. LSU beats the #2 seed. We have the 9 and the 6 here in the first region. North Carolina smashes Xavier. Cincinnati gets in over BYU. Pretty good matchup here. We get Vanderbilt. Vanderbilt beat us in the SEC Tournament Championship, so now we get them in the Elite 8. So, crazy, right? Crazy on what's going to happen. They're the SEC champions, tournament champions, but, you know, we're the defending national champions. Can we clutch up when it matters the most? That's what counts. And Seton Hall is still in there. We're on the collision course for either Seton Hall or Colorado, one of the top teams. It wouldn't be like that any other way. This is the only crazy region. So, boys, let's go ahead and see let's play out that other region. UNC makes it through. Is going to be an absolute force. If you want to win the national championship, you're going to have to beat North Carolina and Seton Hall probably. So really, really tough game. North Carolina's into the Final Four. How about UCLA and LSU? Which team made it in on that side? Let's see. UCLA does make it through as a 9 seed. So congrats to UCLA. They will be facing North Carolina in the Final Four. That is your reward. North Carolina is going to be really, really hard to beat. But, guys, let's focus on the game that we have in front of us. We have Vanderbilt. It is a very tough game. We are slight favorites on a neutral court, apparently. But we've seen this game played out before on a neutral court in the SEC tournament. We'll see what we can make happen. Seton Hall versus Colorado. It's going to be a really tough game, especially with multiple people being injured for Colorado. I'm pretty sure Seton Hall is going to get this done, and we're going to have a date with Seton Hall. I mean, I wouldn't have it any other way. You're going to have to beat Seton Hall in North Carolina to be the champion. It's just going to be that tough. Anyways, boys, can we put our demons behind us? Are we able to beat Vanderbilt? Can we get our revenge back on these boys? Let's see what we can make happen. Let's go, baby! We come back in the Elite 8 to beat them, and Seton Hall moves through. We're going to have to play Seton Hall, but we make it back to the Final Four, and our destiny awaits us. North Carolina, UCLA. Iowa is the only 1 seed that doesn't make it through. It's us top 3. North Carolina's probably #1. Seton Hall's #2. We're #3. North Carolina obviously has the way easier, better game in. They don't have to play Iowa. They don't have to play Ohio State. They get to play 9th-seeded UCLA. But don't sleep on them because they've made it this far for a reason, right? And then you have Seton Hall with their elite recruiting class. They're trying to get it done. Excuse me, boys. Arkansas, here we are again in the Final Four, defending national champions. It's going to be a crazy, crazy Final Four, boys. I'm going to keep y'all right here with me. We have another deep tournament run. Crazy, crazy, crazy tournament run. Let's go ahead and we'll get through these lower level tier tournaments, and we'll go ahead and take a look at who won them. And we'll go from there, boys. This is a crazy, crazy, crazy other result. We have a chance to be the back-to-back national champions. North Carolina is looking to restore their faith and order. Seton Hall is looking to take their recruiting class and become an elite team and finally win a national championship. Let's go ahead. You know how we do it here. We pay respects to the lower tournaments. So the NIT, congrats to, wow, look at Syracuse as a 7 seed, knocking out Arizona. So good on them. Congrats to Syracuse. The CBI goes to Army, the 1 seed. Congrats to Army on a good season. and CIT goes to Loyola Marymount as a 2 seed. They beat Seattle in the championship. Congrats to them on a good season. But now here we are, boys, at the tournament that really matters, the tournament of champions, the best of the best. That's how it's supposed to be. North Carolina has a pretty good, easy way to get into the championship game to face either us or Seton Hall. It is a toss-up game. They are a 1.5-point favorite against us. Means nothing. Means absolutely nothing. Anything can happen on this court between two 30-win teams. Anything can happen between two 30-win teams. I mean, you're talking about number 2 versus number 3. Top 3 teams. North Carolina is in here against unranked UCLA. So you have number 1, number 2, number 3, and then unranked UCLA has been stunning everybody. Boys, anything can happen here. We can win it. We can lose it. Anything can happen in this Final Four. I'm so proud of my boys for making it this far. Honestly, I didn't even think we would make it this far. I thought we were capable of being upset earlier in the tournament. We could have got upset in the Sweet 16 or the Elite 8. So to make it to the Final Four, very, very, I'll go ahead and clap it up for the team. But listen, we have a chance to become the back-to-back national champions. Doesn't happen that often. Let's go ahead and see if we can get it done. Let's go Hogs. Let's go Razorbacks. Woo pie, baby. Let's go ahead and take care of these Seton Hall Pirates. A hog is better than a pirate. No! We get absolutely dumpstered by Seton Hall. Torian Whitehead absolutely dumps us with Bishop Tinsley. And unfortunately, our ride to glory and our defending national championship is just not going to be this year. It's going to be North Carolina. It's going to be Seton Hall. It is their year. Unfortunately, we ran out of gas in the Final Four, boys. It's going to be Seton Hall or it's going to be North Carolina. Let's see here. When was the last time North Carolina won the championship? Oh, they were the runner-up on us. So they are looking to, they would probably love to have played us in this game right here to get like major revenge on us. But they haven't been relevant. I mean, the last time before that was the 2030s, but they haven't won it since the start of our save, guys. 2022, 2023, 17 some years. Almost 20 years, man, since they've won a national championship in basketball. Crazy for a school like North Carolina. Seton Hall, they haven't even come close, and now they are there. You know what, boys? Let's declare a national champion. If I had to put my money on it, I'd probably put my money on North Carolina. They play in a tougher conference. They've won more games. They've lost less. I think they just have what it takes. They took an elite transfer that we wanted. They have Torian Whitehead. They are just so good. And we couldn't beat Seton Hall. You know, we tried. We just didn't have the firepower. We're a Final Four worthy team this year. Who's the national champion? It is Seton Hall. Seton Hall gives it to North Carolina. And what did I tell you guys? That Seton Hall, with those freaking 7 5-stars or whatever that they had on their team, the 7 5-stars pays off. And Seton Hall etches their name forever in history as the 2041 national champions. North Carolina, back-to-back runner-ups. How bad does that sting? Back-to-back runner-up. Oh, man, I don't know. Boys. That one hurt. That hurts for me. And I'm not even the head coach of North Carolina, but I can imagine the pain. Back-to-back finals and you lose? Oh, it just shows you how stacked Seton Hall was as a team. So congrats to Seton Hall. I'm pretty sure that's going to be Seton Hall's only championship in school history. I don't think they've won it IRL. No, they have not won it IRL. But they've won it in my save. So any Seton Hall fans out there from good old New Jersey, congrats on you for getting it done. And you know what? They have a really, really, really good recruiting class coming up. They have the best player overall now. They kind of fell off from there, but they got Terrell Alexander, who I really wanted. He's the best player in the class, so they're going to have a chance to repeat, but congrats on Seton Hall. They etched their name in the 2040s as national champions. They stop us from repeating. They give North Carolina the back-to-back runner-ups. That's tough for North Carolina, man. But Seton Hall, congrats on you. I knew it was going to happen with that recruiting class, but oh, well, actually, Seton Hall, yeah, they got the runner-up here against Iowa. But all right, well, there you go. Seton Hall, North Carolina runner-up. Tough for North Carolina. Texas is still nowhere to be found. Boys, let's get to the awards. I don't know if we're going to get Player of the Year or Coach of the Year, but we'll see. Let's go ahead. Let's get through these awards together, boys, and then we'll call this an episode because it's kind of getting close to 2 hours long. So, Torian Whitehead from Seton Hall gets Player of the Year. Makes sense. 100 scoring, guys. This is the guy that we really needed on our team to win it all. We did recruit this guy, but he just, it sucks, right? He's from New Jersey and he plays for a New Jersey school. Like, what were we supposed to do? Like, explain to me what I was supposed. How could I compete against Seton Hall when the guy's from New Jersey and he wants to play for a school in New Jersey? Obviously, Torian Whitehead is the best. James York is the Defensive Player of the Year, not just in the SEC, but the whole nation. Congrats on James York. What a way to go out. Hubert Davis, Coach of the Year for North Carolina, again, has a back-to-back finals again. He went champion, and then he just hasn't been able to get it done. Multiple finals, multiple Elite Eights, just not able to get it done for North Carolina. So, very interesting. James York does get first team All-American. Love that. Robert Cabrera as well for Vanderbilt, a senior, is an absolute stud, man. This guy played all 4 years with Vanderbilt and is just an absolute stud. He's one of the best players in college basketball history ever, and definitely Vanderbilt history. I mean, this guy is an absolute savage, so congrats to him. Did we get any second teamers? No, we didn't. North Carolina gets 2 second teamers. Let's take a look at just the SEC. Wow, LSU Coach of the Year. What is this bullshit? What the fuck? Why didn't we get Coach of the Year? That's bullshit. I call complete bullshit on that. We are a much better coach than him. Fuck you. How do you get Coach of the Year? Okay, whatever. As if we didn't make the Final Four. But James York, Player of the Year, Defensive Player of the Year. Chuck Tobias from Tennessee. He really kind of helped them out and be relevant. First team. Do we have any second teamers? Nope. So just James York. Really, James York was mostly our team. Okay, boys. I'm going to go ahead and pause it from here. We'll go ahead and get to the season recap, and we'll start to wrap up this video. All right, boys, here we are. We're after all the awards. Let's go ahead and take a look at the season recap and all the jobs that are going to be available. The season review, we didn't win the national championship. We didn't win the conference tournament. 20 games. Hey, our prestige actually went up by 1, and we did get a 5-star. So we got 3 of our goals. We didn't win the national championship or the conference tournament championship. They expect to try to win that next year. I understand. Listen, when you play for Arkansas, it's all about playing for championships, right? We have a Final Four appearance. Unfortunately, we lost to the champion, at least, right? We lost to the champion, and yeah, we're 61 years old now. You know, we still have some years left to go. If we see if we take a look at our reputation, went up by a lot. But that doesn't really mean anything at this point. We can get any job that we want. So, speaking of jobs, I don't think I was going to change job unless I have a crazy role play story here. And I only had a couple schools in mind for that. But, you know, overall, I mean, I like where we are with Arkansas. Unfortunately, we just came up a little bit short. But let's go ahead and see what jobs are available. So Seton Hall coach retires right after he wins the national championship. That's so funny. That's so funny to me. So there's no Duke. There's nothing crazy. Texas is hiring, which is really, really interesting. It was one of the schools that I was thinking I could make a little role play out of. So Texas hasn't won a national championship in like 4 years or like 11 years. And they've been on top of college basketball for a really, really long time. But they just haven't won it. So let's just curious, because Texas was going to be the team that I role play. Like, in real life, guys, in real life, Texas has the most elite and richest boosters you've ever seen in your life. Like, completely. Like, any school you want to name, I dare you to name a school that has bigger boosters than Texas. I dare you. I don't think it's possible. They are such a huge university, and the money that goes into that, where like the oil money, the gas money that goes into that university is crazy. So I was like trying to role play see if we could be bought out from Arkansas. If like, the boosters of Texas offered Journeyman $10 million a year, $15 million. Obviously that would never show up in the game. It just doesn't work. But you just role play here with me, boys. Think about those boosters. Those boosters won a championship so bad. And so let's just take a look at Texas, man. It's interesting. The head coach retired or got fired. Chris Beard, yeah, he retired after so many years of building this program up, but they haven't been the champion since 2030, guys. Haven't been the champion since 2030. And look how good they've been. Elite Eight finals, Elite Eight. Bad second round exit here. Elite Eight finals, champions. Second round, Elite Eight, Sweet 16, Sweet 16. Like, they are fiending for a championship. I don't know how their recruiting class looks. Awful recruiting class. Terrible. Nowhere near Texas standard. This is awful. Now, if you look here, they have a massive budget, great facilities, great prestige. Like, they've won a national championship so long ago. It's been so long. I don't know, boys. It's just like I like to role play in this game, right? The thing with this game is you have to enjoy role playing and kind of making your own scenarios for like what you want to do. And I'm all about Arkansas right now. And we've won a national champion for them. We've been there 4 years. If you want to do like a realistic build, obviously no one would ever leave Arkansas. Nobody would ever leave Arkansas if you had this job. But just like, what if Arkansas is only paying us a certain amount of money, and you can role play that Texas would have way more money way more money to pay you, and you have the chance to restore glory to a blue blood program that is struggling. If we take a look at the school's overall prestige, Texas is still one of the top 3 schools, along with North Carolina and us. So we'd be changing like one top 3 job for another. It's interesting. This was the only job I was going to leave it for, because I know in real life, Texas boosters have a shitload of money, guys. More money. I mean, maybe you could argue like Southern California, they have really good boosters too. And you can argue like, Alabama, Georgia, and stuff like that they have boosters. But Texas money is crazy money. Do we leave our recruiting class? I mean, we lose James York. It would be another rebuild. And it would be like a cool legacy, right? We've won a national championship at Arkansas. What is the next best thing, right? To win a championship at another school. You've done it at one school. You didn't repeat. You were so close. But can you do it at another school? Can you take another team that has been struggling for 12 years, 20 years, who hasn't won a championship since the 30s? Can you bring them to prominence? I don't know why I'm so attracted by that, but I just think I'm attracted by the fact that I want to win like 2 national championships with multiple teams, It's really hard, boys. I wasn't expecting to leave this roster. We lose these guys. I don't know if Simon will come back. Probably would come back. Simon, Jeff, probably would come back. You know, it's either we run it back with the boys, or we run it back with these boys and with the elite recruits that we got, or we take the Texas money and dip, and you know, I'll be able to help change Texas recruiting and everything. Listen. A part of me really wants to stay with Arkansas. A part of me is willing to embark on this journey with this new team. I'm just trying to think on how many rosters I would have, or how many scholarships I would have for my next year, and it looks like it's going to be a little bit more of the same, where you don't really have a lot of scholarships to offer. You're losing a couple seniors right now. You're bringing some in. You hope some will leave in the transfer. I don't know how good these guys are. The history of Texas, I mean, you could build this up. If you win it here at Texas, man, you're a legend. You'll be a legend forever. 525,000 starting budget, man. Alright, boys. As attractive as it is so attractive. This is a once-in-a-lifetime chance to take it. This job has not been open since the sim. But you know what? We're going to run it back with Arkansas. We are not going to apply for the Texas job. We are going to try to win it again at Arkansas. Maybe the Texas job comes back up open again in the future. But you know what? We are a hog still. There's some unfinished business. Maybe when we win 2 national championships with Arkansas, we can look to see to move to a different program and build up that program. You know, but it didn't feel right to leave Arkansas after a Final Four loss. If we won the national championship and I won 2 in a row, I would have been more likely to leave for the Texas job, just because I won 2 national championships here, and I want to be one of the greatest coaches of all time. And I think if you can build 2 different schools to be national champions, that is really, really good to be one of the greatest of all time. Yes, winning multiple national championships at one school is really good too for that, but let's say I win 3 at Arkansas and then I left for like another blue blood and I won 3 at Texas, and that's 6 championships. Man, that really defines you as one of the greatest coaches of all time, because not only did you do it at one school, you did it at another. So it didn't matter what school you were. You could do it anywhere. But something just didn't feel right. We're still an Arkansas Razorback. Go Hogs. Woo Pie, baby. We're going to go for it again next year. It's still going to be tough with Seton Hall and Clemson and all them now coming up. But we're still here, baby. We're going to give it another ride with these guys. Our 5th year. Guys, I hope you enjoyed this episode. A Final Four postseason. Pretty good for this team, you know. Obviously, we want to win the national championship, but it just came up a little bit short, boys. Anyways, God bless y'all. I hope you're having a good one. And also, just like I said at the start of the video, the guys who like the videos within the first 10 views, you guys are the fucking MV motherfucking P, okay? I really appreciate you guys. Thank you so much. And if you could go back and like that one George Mason video who hasn't gotten a like yet, I really appreciate it. God bless all of y'all. I'll try to get you another episode through the weekend. Take care, boys.